What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? Commander Rio Robinson checking in with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. We are now finished basking in the glory of a week 1 victory, and we're on to week 2, where our squad is being disrespected again. So it's game preview time. If it's Wednesday night, today I was supposed to have MicroMike of Chat Sports on. He's a little under the weather. So we brought in another guy from Detroit Lions Nation, my guy Zach from the Drinking the Blue Kool-Aid Detroit Lions podcast. Welcome to the show, my good sir. How you doing today?
Hey, Rio. Good to be on here. And I know my real name's Zach, but I go by Big Z on our podcast, Drinking Blue Kool-Aid. So.
Big Z, you have an amazing radio voice, by the way.
I get that every once in a while. Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah, definitely have a radio voice. Okay, so you guys have suddenly become kind of like a media darling. I don't know if it was Hard Knocks or just how gritty you are, or is it just the MCDC, the Dan Campbell effect? Because he's such a like I want to run through a wall watching this guy, watching Hard Knocks and stuff. What has been the turn in Detroit?
I really think it's all encompassing. First of all, you're coming from the era of Matt Patricia, and Dan Campbell's the complete opposite. So Lions fans immediately are going to kind of rally around this personality as opposed to what we saw from the previous head coach. But in addition to that, Hard Knocks, that insight, I mean, a lot of experience on that coaching staff, as you saw, and just a lot of personalities. It's a really exciting team to root for. Now, will it work? Time will tell. But right now, it's at least a fun ride at the very least.
Hell yeah, man. Okay, so it's year 2 of Jared Goff. Dan Campbell's bringing in the guys. You guys had a not too quiet, but not too busy off season. You went with the hometown kid, Aiden Hutchinson, in the first round, and an absolute game changer who we haven't seen yet. What's the timetable on Jameson Williams, and how do you feel about you guys' draft?
So Jameson Williams, he's on the still on the NFI list, but if he comes back, at full force, it probably won't be till the middle, till later in the season. Like, they're really taking their time with him, but we feel really good about the draft. It's funny, you guys play the number 1 overall pick in Trayvon Walker week 1. Now you're getting the number 2 overall pick in Aiden Hutchinson week 2.
That's crazy.
So your offensive line is getting a great test right away. I think Walker played a really good game against you guys too.
Hell yeah, he had an amazing interception, and he had a sack and a couple tackles for loss in his first game. Man, I'm not mad. He got the only sack that we gave up all night, though. You know what I'm saying? Our line, just like you guys' line, held up pretty well. Y'all kept Goff's jersey pretty clean Sunday, right?
We did. We only gave up 1 sack, although I don't know if you're a big PFF guy or not, but they got graded pretty poorly in PFF. There's the first half was not a great half for our offensive line. The second half was much better. But getting back to the draft really quick, obviously anybody that's watched Hard Knocks is big on Malcolm Rodriguez, our 6th round linebacker.
The linebacker.
One of the rare guys to, first of all, start as a 6th round rookie, let alone a linebacker for the Lions. The Lions have been desperate for a linebacker since DeAndre Levy.
Shit, I'm right there with you. We struggling over here at linebacker too.
But I definitely think he's the real deal. He showed up against the Eagles. So just that somebody, if you did not watch Hard Knocks, he goes by Rodrigo. A shifty. He's not like a big guy by any means or the most athletic, but he's really instinctive, really quick to the ball, and has a great center of balance, I like to say. He'll be around the ball a lot. So
it's your starting backers. It's him and Anzalone, right?
Yes, and then Derek Barnes, our 4th round linebacker out of Purdue from last year's draft, rotates in as well.
Okay, so would you say you guys are better in run support in your linebacker room or coverage?
That's a tough one. I guess coverage, which is not. There's no good answer there. We don't love our linebacker room by any means. We're hopeful. Anzalone's just a filler for now, until we can find a more long-term solution. But we're rolling with him right now. He'll just have to do. He actually played an all right game last game, but I wouldn't say we're like thrilled with the linebacker room at the moment, especially if you got a 6th round rookie linebacker starting. I think that's all you need to know.
You're going in the year 2. Oh, no, before we even get to that, What is the experience of being a Lions fan like?
Oh,
Because you guys have seen a season where you won 0 games. You guys have seen some
I heard it all.
The Matt Millen days. You guys have seen some crazy shit. You guys had a franchise quarterback for a decade. You guys had a generational wide receiver. You guys watched the franchise quarterback go win a Super Bowl in his new destination in his first year. What's the experience of being a Lions fan like? Because I know how like depressed we could be sometimes as Washington fans, but this team's actually seen glory before my time. But like, what is it like being a Lions fan? Take me through a day in the life.
I mean, so I'm 30. And
I'm 30 as well.
I was born April of 92. So the Lions won their first and only playoff game in the Super Bowl era that January before I was born. So I in a way, I may be bad luck because they have not won a single playoff game since then, which is just incredible. I mean, nobody else in any of the major sports, I think, can compare to that level of futility at the moment. But as I mentioned, my podcast is Drinking a Blue Kool-Aid. So my perspective, at the very least, is that all we can be is optimistic. All we can be is hopeful. I live in Chicago right now, and you're surrounded by Cubs fans, and for the longest time, that was what their experience was. You know, it's just hopeful every year. This is gonna be our year, that type of thing. But but I do think we're on the right path. But if there's the other side of the Lions fan base too, that's extremely pessimistic. You know, they've been around 60, 70 years watching the same team lose every year. It's hard to get up every Sunday to watch it, but the Lions are dedicated. I mean, they sold out that game week 1, so there's still a huge dedicated fan base that wants a winner so badly.
Hell yeah. You guys sold out your first game since 2019, I believe, which is about 3 years. And this, what you got to say?
Oh, no, you talked about Washington being disrespected again this week. The Lions, this is the first time they're a favorite in Vegas in 25 games.
And that makes me feel away. Like, I understand. Like, I get it. We're not world beaters. We're not Super Bowl contenders yet. But seeing that you guys are the favorite this week, it makes me feel away. It definitely struck a nerve within me because it's like, okay, y'all were 3-13-1 last year. And we just did the same thing in week 1, which so many people were putting their money on the Jaguars. I mean, we didn't crush them. We started to. We almost threw it away, and we ended up finishing them. You guys had a very weird game versus the Eagles. Like, you started fast on offense. Then the offense went absolutely anemic for the next couple quarters. Goff had like 88 yards through 3 quarters. And then somehow points started to add up. You guys ended up losing by 3. Take me through week 1. What were your takeaways?
Well, I'm still encouraged by week 1, actually, despite the loss. But I think the Eagles have one of the best rosters in the NFL. I don't know if you agree with that or disagree. Them being
they do. I don't believe in their quarterback too much yet, but I like the roster around him.
But, I mean, we gave up 44 points to the Eagles last year. We gave up 38 more this year, although one was a pick 6 this year. But regardless, Jalen Hurts, he will run. There's no doubt about it. He will not hesitate. And they have A.J. Brown, which they did not have last year. And he threw to him, I think, on like 70% of their attempts, and he had over 80% of their yards. Just ridiculous. But for the Lions, great script to start. They really plodded along in the second quarter. But they had 4 drop passes in this one as well. So it's not all on Goff. Yeah. And a lot of those were first down completions that were drops. But Amon-Ra St. Brown had 92 catches last year, no drops. This for week 1, 2 drops immediately in this.
Chark dropped a big one too.
Chark dropped one. But they rally behind. Again, that's kind of what the coaching and this team's going to play hard all the way to the end. The points that they scored in the second half is more the offense that we expected, and of course, the big thing was Swift. We're expecting big things out of him this year. Can he stay healthy? Mm-hmm. He didn't practice today. I do think he'll end up playing. I just think it's more precautionary that he set out of practice today. But I love our offensive line. I love our strength going against your strength, your defensive line going against our offensive line. I like that strength on strength battle for us. I think that bodes better for us rather than the Eagles per se, which their strengths are offensive line, and our defensive line's up and down. I don't like our defensive tackles. So
okay, because I mean, y'all may have an issue too there because our O line we may not have the sexy names, but our O-line gets it done. Sometimes I laugh because I don't understand how good our O-line is, because we let Sheriff walk and we pretty much have Band-Aids taking over the guard positions. Charles Leno, who used to be with Chicago, is our bookend left tackle, and Sam Cosme, second-year guy out of Texas on the right side. Our center is a baller, Chase Rouillet. They protect him. They kept Wentz's jersey clean. Gibson only got 15 carries because we didn't really need to establish the run, because we are now in this bombs over Baghdad offense. Like, we have wide receivers. We have Curtis Samuel healthy. Terry has a running mate in first-round receiver Jahan Dotson that we took, who had 2 touchdowns as a rookie and somehow wasn't rookie of the week of the receivers for PFF. That's why I don't trust PFF, because their grades are stupid.
Yeah, it's just I use PFF as like it's a good talking point.
It is.
It puts a number to a performance. So.
Hell yeah. I just there's so much context that does not get explained through PFF grade. Sky Moore was rated the #1 rookie receiver in week 1. He had 1 catch for 30 yards, and it was not a touchdown. Like, come on, man. Patrick Mahomes, 5 touchdowns, 300-something yards, 75% completion rate, almost a perfect passer rate, and was ranked the 8th ranked quarterback of the week. Like I don't even understand how that works, man. Like,
yeah, and they don't really reveal how they do it. So, yeah, I feel you. I definitely feel you for sure.
The pie graph metrics, like, they look cool. They're fun to see next gen stats while you're watching Sunday Night Football, but I don't rely on that type of thing. But y'all are going into year 2 with a quarterback named Jared Goff. Jared Goff and Wentz come from the same draft class where they went 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Jared
I
Goff.
forgot about that.
Hell yeah! Wentz is on his 3rd stop. Goff is on his 2nd stop. I don't think we're going to see him in Detroit too much longer. How long does the Goff show last in Detroit? And should y'all have drafted a quarterback in this previous year's draft?
In this previous year's draft, no, because I don't think the talent was there. So I definitely. I'm glad we didn't reach for one this year. I don't think we needed to, especially because Goff, regardless, is going to cost 35 against the cap this year. So I don't think it made a lot of sense.
Jesus.
But also, that's the big question. And I think this year is his prove-it year. If he can hang in there, show this can be a top 10 off. I mean, I think we have arguably a top 10, if not a top 5 offensive line when we're fully healthy. Because you have All-Pro Frank Ragnow, Penei Sewell, top 10 pick, plays. He can be an All-Pro. Taylor Decker is at least a Pro Bowler, maybe not an All-Pro necessarily. Then you got Jonah Jackson, a solid left guard, and then the right guard's kind of up for grabs at the moment. Big V, when he's in there, is at least a good run blocker. But
Big V, that used to play for Philly?
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
The Lions overpaid for him to be the right tackle, and now he's playing at right guard. But nonetheless, he is our right guard at the moment. But Jared Goff, I mean, this is a constant debate on our podcast, on Lions Twitter, everywhere, any conversation you have. And the first half, you're probably like, oh boy, no Jared Goff. But then the second half last week, you're like, all right, we could see this guy here for a while. So, I mean, we just got to see more this year. They're definitely going to ride him out the rest of the year. It's real. I mean, I'm a big fan of C.J. Stroud out of Alabama.
Oh my!
I'm sorry, out of Ohio State.
Ohio State. That boy. He's him. He's going to be the guy in this class.
Yeah, I mean, Bryce Young is kind of intriguing. But and the Lions have 2 first-rounders again next year. They could use that plus maybe another first-rounder from the year after to move up and get it if they really, really, really want it. Because I don't think this is going to be a top 5 draft pick team this year. I think a team like the Falcons or the Bears are going to be up there more so. But there's a lot of good quarterbacks in this draft class. So I think the Lions are right to at least wait out one more year. Now, Jared Goff, if I had to make a prediction right now, will he be the quarterback next year for the Lions? Brad Holmes was probably the biggest voice in the room when he was with LA before being the GM of the Lions. For Jared Goff. If I had to predict right now, I do think Jared Goff would be the quarterback next year for the Lions. But that's my prediction right now. Let's see if it comes true.
So who would you say has the advantage on Sunday at the quarterback position? Carson Wentz or Jared Goff?
That's tough. I think I read something about, I don't know if you read it too. Carson Wentz plays really good at 73 degrees or something like that.
Yeah, I read one of those weird stats. Yeah, I see that type of shit all the time. Hell yeah.
Well, I mean, I didn't get to watch a ton of the tape, unfortunately. I peeked over on Red Zone But how do you think Jared Wentz played week 1?
He played it like he threw 2 egregious interceptions. Well, I'll say he threw 1 egregious interception. Okay, the first interception he threw, he broke the 3 cardinal sins of quarterbacking on an out route. You can't stare down the receiver, you can't throw it late, and you can't throw it to the inside shoulder. He did all of those 3 things, and Tyson Campbell picked it on a Jahan Dotson out route. Also, Jahan Dotson couldn't attack the ball and knocked it down a little better. The second one was an absolutely incredible play by the first overall pick in the draft. Javon Walker was kind of hiding behind the tackle and popped in front of it. But even if he didn't, the ball wasn't even going to be completed to Gibson anyway. You just throw that shit in the dirt. But other than those 2 picks, he missed 4 passes high. He missed Jahan Dotson on a corner route on the first play of the game. He missed one to Logan Thomas on an out route, I believe, on the right side. That would have been a big play. He missed Dax Milne on the game-winning drive on the first play of that drive. And he missed 1 more high. Other than that, he was flawless. He was flawless. We started off the game. I can't even remember the last time we went down the field and scored 2 touchdowns to start a game. We marched down the field 2 times, spreading the ball around. He throws the 2 interceptions. We go from being up 14-3 to down 22-14. And he has 2 drives left to finish the game. He goes 11 of 13 for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. Throws an absolute beauty to Terry McLaurin for a 50-yarder where he freezes the safety with a pump fake and puts it in the only spot a quarterback can put it in, and then he throws a perfect dot to Jahan Dotson to close the game out. I'd give him a B+, A- debut because we don't see 4 touchdown performances from our quarterbacks here or 300-yard performances. And them combined in his first game here with all these new moving parts we have in the offense, I'm excited, and I would say we have the advantage because Carson can stretch the field better than Jared Goff because I think his arm's limited.
So it sounds like you got the full Carson Wentz experience, the Jekyll and Hyde.
Roller coaster.
It's incredible, his career. He's truly just so up and down. I'm hoping for one of those Carson Wentz moments where he like throws the ball behind, like he's getting sacked and he just lobs it up to like just throws it behind his back or something crazy. Because he always has 1 or 2 moments like that in the game.
Left-handed passes.
Oh yeah, you just gotta hope that our defense drops the ball or something like that. I mean, I think this being at home, I think the Lions are gonna have another sellout. And the crowd was really rowdy the first game. I tend to lean to man, that's a tough one. I gotta go with my boy Jared Goff. I gotta go with my team. I'm gonna say Jared Goff has the edge, but it is pretty close. It's really who's gonna make the big mistake in this game. Will it be Wentz or Goff? Because both are known for being turnover prone, making the big mistake in a game throughout their careers. So
I also would say we have the advantage too because the type of quarterbacks that we struggle with are guys with legs, mobility guys that are not as mobile like Jared Goff, who would be considered the statue guy. Like we have a lot, like our D-line usually feasts on guys like that. Like I see Montez Sweat actually having a really big day on Sunday, and I like the matchup. I'm gonna go advantage Wentz moving to the running back position. Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick versus DeAndre Swift, and what's behind him at the moment? Jamal Williams, right?
Jamal Williams, yep.
Okay, so who would you lean on in the running back position?
Oh, Swift, absolutely. Swift gets most of the carries. That was first week. That was what they indicated coming into the season. Jamal Williams is like the short yardage guy, or maybe Swift goes for like a 50-yard run and needs a breather. I know Swift, and I think I give the edge in the running game to the Lions in this one as well because our offensive line, I think, like I mentioned, I think really highly of our offensive line, especially with Ragnow in there. So I'm going to give the edge in the run game. If it's offensive run game versus defensive run game, I'm going to give the edge to our offensive run game. Pass game, well, I'm really excited for the challenge that your defensive line presents for offensive line. I think they did okay last week against also a good defensive line. So I did. Chase Young, how do you look last week?
Oh, Chase Young's out the first month of the season. He's on
Oh,
injured reserve right
I
now.
missed that.
Yeah,
I missed
yeah,
that.
he's on the pup right now. He's
That's
gonna be
tough.
missed coming off. He had a really bad ACL tear
That's
where
right.
they had to take some of the patella from the opposite knee, and so he's probably not gonna be returning until around week 5, week 6, week 7, something like that. But our pass rush, we got our Montez Sweat didn't get home on a sack, but he had the highest pressure rate according to advanced analytics. He put a lot of heat on Trevor Lawrence. So they get after the quarterback. And Allen had a sack, Payne had a sack. Our second round pick, Fadarian Mathis, who we unfortunately lost for the season, had a sack. It was a sack party for the interior of the D line, but I think y'all have the advantage in the run game for running backs, but I think our running backs can do more in the passing game. Antonio Gibson was a wide receiver in college, and we're using him more in the pass game and in space. And J.D. McKissick is like your ultimate 3-down utility back. So I think in the pass game is where we're going to hurt y'all. But you say you guys have good coverage linebackers, but I think a position that we do have an advantage.
I said we're okay. We're okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, at least y'all are that, because our backers, man, I hope we don't get Swift out in space versus Jamin Davis. That's gonna be a recipe for disaster. I think our receivers are a definite advantage over your receiver group. And based on some of the commentary I've heard from some of the Lions shows I've been listening to, I don't think you guys would agree. I think we have the best receiver on the field, which is scary Terry McLaurin. And I think I like Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I don't think he's Terry McLaurin. I think Terry McLaurin's a game changer, and he actually has running mates now. He actually has running mates. Curtis Samuel is healthy, and in the first quarter, he was absolutely electric last week. The way we're giving him the full Deebo Samuel treatment. He's getting carries, jet sweeps. He's in the slot. He's on the outside. We're running diamond formations. We're running bunch. And this rookie, Jahan Dotson, that we drafted out of Penn State, has possibly the best hands I've ever seen. He's coming into the league with a more polished tool bag than Terry had as a third-round pick coming out of Ohio State. And Logan Thomas is now healthy, a guy you guys are familiar with. He's found his home here as a tight end. And we get our rookie fifth-round pick who's impressed in camp, Cole Turner out of Nevada. I think our pass-catching group has a clear advantage over you guys. And Okudah and Tracy Walker are really good in your secondary. I think Okudah's probably going to be matched up with Terry, I assume, right?
It's hard to say. He wasn't matched up with A.J. Brown last week. He was matched up with Devontae Smith. Now, Devontae Smith and McLaurin are closer and probably their skill set than A.J. Brown, a much taller, bigger wide receiver. So we'll see. I mean, because like you said, Samuel, Dotson, and McLaurin all present their own challenges. So I'm not sure what the game plan is. If I had to guess, yes. But I can't say for sure.
So I imagine whatever receiver draws the matchup with Amani Oruwariye, he's going to get the most targets on Sunday because he was getting his shit cooked on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest play we gave up that game, Okudah was out for 10 snaps. Will Harris, our backup cornerback, converted third-round safety from a few years ago. Now just trying to hang on at cornerback. They threw it him immediately, and he got toasted for 50 yards. So that wasn't all on Oruwariye in that game. Oruwariye played okay. It was more the run game that really hurt us last game, especially Jalen Hurts rushing. So I know Carson Wentz he runs it a little bit, but it definitely doesn't run it like Hurts. So I'm at least excited for that. But I think at least for us defensively, the big key to stopping your receiver core, which I agree, I think is pretty deep, is our defensive line. Now, our defensive line pressured Hurts a lot last week. They just didn't finish the play. Hutchinson had a bunch of pressures. And I love that matchup of Hutchinson against Charles Leno. I watched Charles Leno enough play on the Bears. I think he was horrible, but he was actually better than what they have now currently. But I do like our chances of exploiting that. If not Charles Harris, if not Austin Bryant, to exploit that. And Kaminsky, our other back up the end.
He made up for the picks. So, B- is too low, bruh. It's too low. I don't want Show me the last quarterback that walked in here in his debut and threw for 4 touchdowns and 300 yards. But so tell me about your receiving core, man. Y'all got DJ Chark now. Who you guys got on the inside? I know you got St. Brown and DJ Chark on the outside. Who's your slot receiver?
Well, they kind of change it up. I mean, Josh Reynolds sometimes lines up in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's Goff's like he'll throw to him deep once or twice a game. I mean, his 28-yard pass to Reynolds last week kind of opened the floodgates for us offensively last week. That's finally what got us going. And Goff knows him back from playing with him in LA, so they have a kind of rapport. We have Shark. That's definitely our X receiver, the guy that's going to run deep, try to beat you with speed. Amon-Ra St. Brown, probably. I mean, you'll see him sometimes line up in the backfield. You'll see him line up in the slot a lot. So Amon-Ra St. Brown would be our slot receiver. So we're pretty deep at wide receiver, definitely deeper than we were last year. I would probably give the edge in receiver to your group slightly, but I do think we have our own skill set that plays well with the offense that we're trying to run. Because Detroit wants to run the ball first and foremost. There's no doubt about that. That goes back to last year as well. But I do think we offer a decent amount of passing. And Swift, I mean, I was looking at your guys' stats last week. You had, 9-10 catches from your running backs?
Antonio Gibson was going crazy. He had like 130 all-purpose yards.
And he held on to the ball. He held on to the ball.
He actually did not fumble,
Well, that's good news for you for sure.
Definitely good news. Moving to the defensive side of the ball. Secondary. I'm gonna give y'all the nod because at least Okudah, he hasn't been what he should have been because of injuries and stuff so far. But you guys have a number one corner. I don't think we have a number one corner on the roster. I think we got 3 solid-ish guys out there, and their job is made a little easier, but they don't make plays because our D-line, our D-line makes it easier for them, but they don't make plays. They're never jumping balls. I don't know. Our corners are very underwhelming. You say y'all have the strength in the secondary department.
Sorry, repeat that again?
No, would you say that you guys have the advantage in secondary, especially in the cornerback room?
Well, I mean, they're unproven. Okudah's been hurt for the first 2 years of his career, really. So I guess I would call him our number one cornerback. He's just got to prove it still. Warrior is very up and down. Sometimes he'll try to take a big risk and go for the ball, and he'll miss it and then give up the big play.
He ended up with 6 picks last year, right?
He did. He also gave up a lot of big, him versus Devontae Adams did not go well. So we are very happy to see Devontae Adams out as far west as he can be. But I do like our safeties. Tracy Walker, when he's
a monster.
When he stays in the game, he got ejected last week, which very out of character for him. He's a team captain. Very bizarre that he got 2 unsportsmanlike conducts. And Deshaun Elliott, an underrated guy. But I do like, more than their coverage, I like their ability to tackle. So when I see that Washington's dumping off the ball a lot to the running backs, I'm kind of encouraged by that, at least for a matchup, because I think historically, at least under Ron Rivera, you guys throw the running back a lot. Like J.D. McKissick, I think, was getting 10 catches a game at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
And that was also because we had Check Down Jesus, a.k.a. Alex Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's fair.
That man looks for the running back as soon as the play starts. But, yeah, J.D. McKissick is a big part of the offense. And we're now, since we drafted Brian Robinson, we're trying to make Gibson's role of more of an out in space type utility back as well. So yes, we're going to be doing a lot of throwing to the running back type stuff. So your backers better be ready to cover this weekend.
They will. And I like that. Okudah, if for all his ups and downs in coverage, he is a very, very good tackler. I think he's the number 1 rated cornerback tackling this past week. So that encourages me.
Oh yeah. What would you grade Aiden Hutchinson's first game in the league?
He was actually decent against the run, but he needs to learn how to finish a pass, finish the play when he's pass rushing. So I'll give him a B-, because he didn't make any big plays. He almost got there, but almost doesn't win you the game. If anybody knows that, the Lions fans know that the best. Almost
Hell yeah. And I'm about to come on you guys' show in like 45 minutes. So I'm going to try to wrap this up in a few so I can hop over there with you guys. Let's hear it. Let's hear your prediction for Sunday. I want to know the score, and the context of how we got there.
Oh, man. The prediction for this week. I'm going to go 27-24 Lions. I do think it's a pretty close game, like a lot of games in the NFL, really. I think that 2.5. Is it still 2.5? I didn't look today at the.
Yeah, it's a 2.5. The line's at 2.5.
Yeah, I think that's about right. That means actually that Vegas likes Washington slightly better because usually they give 3 points for the home team on the swing. So they actually think. So 27-24. It's going to be back and forth. I think it's going to be tied at halftime, but I do think Swift goes for 100 yards again on the ground and at least 50. I do think Swift's going to play even bigger role this week than they did last week in the offense. Because of your defensive line, I think they're going to be a little over aggressive, and that's going to allow some screens. I think Amon-Ra gets at least 5 catches for 50 yards as well. But I really like the defense side. I think there's going to be a big Carson Wentz fumble turnover that we get in the fourth quarter at some point. He's going to force the issue too much. I think that's a big difference. And I just think on the road for Washington, I think the Lions being at home for the first 2 weeks here, and Washington us not having to travel is a big advantage. So 27-24. I think it's going to be close, though, because I do think you guys have a lot of skill, especially at wide receiver. It's going to keep in the game.
Okay, you're going with your home squad. I'm going with the home team. We're starting off the season 2-0 with a showdown versus Philly in week 3 coming to Washington. We're really going to get a test. I think the schedule prognosticators did us a favor. They gave us the number 1 and the number 2 overall draft pick to start the season. And I think we're a team with playoff aspirations this year. You guys are an improved Lions team, but I think our offense is going to be a problem for you. I think we're going to spread these guys out and we're going to sling it around. And I think we're going to have more success in the run game. DeAndre Swift concerns me because we gave up 7 yards a carry to Travis Etienne and James Robinson last week.
And Etienne dropped a couple touchdowns, right?
He dropped a screen on 4th and goal that would have been a walk-in touchdown.
Yeah.
But I'm going 30-20 Washington Commanders. 30-20, 10-point victory for the Commanders in Detroit. I think the game starts off close, and I think we pull away late. I think Carson Wentz throws another 2 or 3 touchdowns, and Antonio Gibson or McKissick punch in the punctuation one. And I think we sack Jared Goff 5 to 7 times on Sunday. Because
no faith in our offensive line, huh?
This is the type of quarterback that we get to. No, it's not you guys' line. You guys' line held up well versus a great front in Philadelphia. I believe in our D-line, especially if Jonathan Allen plays, because Jonathan Allen, he's almost unstoppable.
He's a beast. He's a beast.
Monster. Payne's in a contract year, so you already know the production's going to be there this year. And Montez Sweat, it's time to see him hit home and get to a quarterback. And I cannot think of one of the easier quarterbacks on our schedule for him to get to than Jared Goff. 30-20 Washington Commanders. And before you check out, how many wins are the Lions getting this year?
So I think on my podcast I predicted 10. So like I said, we drink the Kool-Aid. We drink the Kool-Aid on
definitely.
The podcast.
I'm drinking the burgundy Kool-Aid right now, so I'm not mad at you, man.
I'm telling you, I'm super encouraged. I do think the Eagles are a playoff team this year, and the Lions held up more than their own, and probably if they stop. They had them wrapped up on 3rd and 2 to get the ball back at the end to possibly win the game. So they're right there and carrying that over from last year where they won 3 of their last 5 games. I think there's a lot of good momentum. And then they're picking up a free agent, essentially, Jameson Williams, midway through the season. That doesn't include like our highest paid defensive end, Romeo Okwara, he's hit or miss because he's coming off an Achilles injury from last year, but he'll come back mid-season. So, and I think the schedule favor. Nobody talks about this, but there's 2 factors. If you felt like Warren Sharp or these guys, like they have like expected wins. And the Lions, first of all, they play at noon every game this year except for Thanksgiving. So talk about lack of respect. The Lions have absolutely done. And even the Thanksgiving one's only a half hour earlier at 11:30. And then the second thing is the Lions have the least amount of miles traveled of any team in the NFL this year, which is at least worth at least from some statisticians I read, like worth about a game and a half more in the win column just from the miles. Some of these teams are, flying East Coast to West Coast, London, Germany, like Lions going nowhere. They're traveling the minimal amount of miles compared to everybody else in the NFL.
Hey, Grandizer said, how much Kool-Aid you drinking? A shot, a pint, or a keg?
What's the biggest? Keg.
Definitely doing keg stands of the blue Kool-Aid. Oh, and what'd you think about your division rivals week 1? Kirk dominated the Vikings. The Bears won in that nasty monsoon game versus the 49ers. What'd you think of your divisional rival?
Well, I think I mentioned it briefly, but I'm not high in the Bears at all. If you watch any of that game, that's bear weather, so they benefit from that. But I mean, Justin Fields was running for his life in that game. He just happened to find a couple of wide open receivers. It was like, you ever play Madden where you run 20 yards back and throw the pass? That's kind of what Justin Fields was doing in this game. Then that Packers Minnesota one, I bet on Minnesota. I thought they'd win that one just because I think it's going to take Aaron Rodgers some time to mesh with those
children receivers.
But who knows if you watch that game, Christian Watson, their draft pick, was wide open. He dropped a touchdown pass, for 50 yards.
That was the whole thing with him coming into the draft. He does not catch. He doesn't catch. He does replace Devontae Adams with a receiver that fits the profile but has no hands. I don't know what Rodgers going to pull his hair out this year.
I think they're getting off a slow start. That's what I thought. It's still their obviously they're they've won the division. I don't know how many times the last 10 years. It's their division, so they're definitely still the front runners. Again, we have 60 more games to go, but I do think it's pretty wide open. I think the Lions will be in every game. I don't expect them to get their ass kicked like they did a few times last season. But I'm more encouraged by our offense this year. But the division's going to be tight. The division's going to be really tight. The NFC as a whole is really wide open.
Hell yeah.
Kind of compared like the AFC where you see the Bills and the Chiefs and maybe the Chargers being
it's a front runner. It's a bloodbath in the AFC. But meanwhile, the NFC, we don't know who the team to beat is. And it's up for grabs for any team like you guys, like us, to just step up and just say, you know what, we're going to be in the conversation this year. Rodgers is playing with a very limited receiving core. Tom Brady's 100 years old, but they're good. The Rams, they're coming off a Super Bowl. We got to see how they bounce back after their week 1 shellacking. I'm excited to see how the NFC plays out. Grandizer wants you to give us a Lions growl before you go.
Me?
Yeah, he wants a Lions growl to represent for the Lions, man.
I'll sing the fight song.
All right, I want to hear your fight song. Let me hear the fight song.
Forward down the field, a charging team that will not yield. And when the blue and silver wave, we will stand and cheer the brave. Rah, 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 go hard, win the game. With honor, you will keep your fame. Down the field and gain a Lions victory. Go Lions!
So that was awesome. Do you like your fight song?
Oh, we love it. Yeah, we sing at the end of our podcast.
Hell yeah, because there's a lot of fight song controversy going on here with all this new name shit that we got.
Oh yeah, do you like the new name? Are you a fan?
I think the new name doesn't really move the needle for me, but I don't think the old name moved the needle for me either. Honestly, I really don't care. I'm a 30-year-old fan. I didn't see the glory days, so the name and the logo never really meant it.
I like the colors, at least. I kind of like the colors.
The uniforms are fire, though. I love the uniforms. I love the helmets. I love all of that. And the branding, marketing, everything they rolled out looks good. The name is boring, but I mean, I'm not attached to a name. This is my favorite football organization. It's not going to change because of name change. And a lot of old men get way too emotional and get their panties in a bunch over the name of a football team. That may offend some, but it is what it is. Appreciate you for coming on and stepping in to substitute for me today, man. I'm looking forward to coming on your show. Let folks know where they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, my personal Twitter handle is at Big Z Podcast, but my podcast is Drinking the Blue Kool-Aid. Our podcast is hosted on Sidelion, SIDELION, SidelineReport.com, Apple, Spotify, wherever. And then our Twitter is at Drinking Lions. Our Instagram's at Drinking the Blue Kool-Aid. So that's where you can find me. So and Rio, tomorrow when we post the podcast.
Hey, appreciate you, man. I'll see you in a few, man. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, and good luck with your podcast. And you seem to have great listeners as well. So, I'm sorry about this Sunday. I don't think you're going to win, but, good luck the rest of the way.
Okay, we'll check in after the game. We'll see how that goes, man.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, Rio.
All right, see you in a few, man. All right, guys. Now let's talk from a Washington fan's perspective now that our guest has stepped out the room. For starters, it is fucking absurd that we're not favored to win this game versus the Lions. I'm sorry. It's not like we've proven anything yet, but there is no way in hell that we should be not favored versus the 3-13-1 Lions. They literally started us with the first and second overall picks in this year's draft. And we just beat one. It could have been worse, but we won the game. They lost by a field goal to the Eagles, but don't get it fucked up. They was not just hanging with the Eagles the whole game. Eagles was busting that ass. They were down 17 at the end of the third quarter. Goff had less than 90 passing yards through 3 quarters of that game. Let's not sit here and act like, it was a shootout. They was going back and forth. Hell no. There's no reason we aren't favored to win this game, but I like it, though. Keep sleeping. Keep sleeping for real. Like, hell no. There's no way that we shouldn't be favored in this game, but let them disrespect us. Let the disrespect. Let me see. Yes, sir. You heard me. You heard me. Rio, I see the gains coming through the sweatshirt. Hey. We trying, man. We almost at 50 pounds down. We're about at 46 right now. We're getting there, man. Yeah, man. Black King, I appreciate you. And y'all going hard at Black King in the chat, man. Have fun with it, man. Have fun with it. And hell yeah, profanity is a must in the NFL. Wentz is a man of the Lord. He cussed 3 times in that post-game speech. He cussed 3 times. It is okay, bruh. It's about speaking your mind. You're not a bad person because you curse. I curse in regular conversation. It is what it is, man. It's a part of the game. If you when they do NFL mic'd up, if they really let the mic play raw feed of what's being said during the game, you would have to put like rated XXX or rated MA. Oh man, my bad, XXX. NC-17. It'd be rated something terrible because the shit said in a locker room and on a football game is wicked. It's wicked, my guy. Where you sitting? I'll be sitting club level. I'm in section 139, man. That's on the home side, closer to the right end zone, the right side of the bench. What's going on, Chase? I want 40 versus the Lions. Fuck being humble. Hey, talk that shit. I don't want to be humble no more, bro. I want to be good. I want to talk my shit. I want to strut on them. I want people to put respect on this W, bro. I want people to put respect on the Commanders. If my voice is cracking, it finally came back today after all the screaming of that roller coaster electric atmosphere at FedEx Field on Sunday. Let's throw some score predictions in the chat. What do y'all think the score is going to be on Sunday? I said 30-20. I would love to see it be an absolute blowout. I will take a 10-point victory, but I'll take the victory whatever way it comes. I'm a Cowboy fan. It's in my blood to hate Washington. Facts, and it's our blood to hate y'all. But it's all fun when we kick it. Like Sunday, I'm going to Mark Holmes' house. We're going to watch all the games together, and we're going to go live. We're going to stream, and we're going to combine both of our live stream chats, and we're going to have a good-ass time. We're going to eat some good food, and we're going to watch the Commanders get this W, and we're going to watch the Cowboys led by Cooper Rush take an L. And I hate that Dak Prescott got hurt. I hate it because now we got to hear this 2020 shit again when we win the division this year. We got to hear, because Dak got hurt. Dak played like shit versus the Bucs, bro. Y'all look terrible week 1. Yes, y'all played a much better opponent than we played, but y'all looked really bad. And the Titans, y'all really pissed me off week 1. Y'all had to let the Giants get some confidence. Y'all had like 9 chances to close that game. Daniel Jones threw a goddamn pick in the end zone in the 4th quarter, and y'all still let them win the game. They let his balls hang and went for the win and went for 2 on y'all on your home field. Hell yeah, four more for Wentz, and we're talking crazy going into week 3. Wentz going into week 3 with 8 touchdowns. Oh, I'm talking filthy. Art Monk is a legend, the great Arthur Monk. You know what I'm saying? And you don't got to go in another team's chat. Y'all can be over here. What I'm saying is, he gonna be live. I'm gonna be live. We're gonna be all together. I'm gonna be reading this chat. I'm gonna be reading my chat, and we all, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be all over here mixing it up on Sunday. It is definitely a fun. Oh my God, Dallas is sick. I had Mark, and Mark didn't text me till the morning. He had to sleep on it, man. Them Bucks Cowboys highlights. Them shits was. Dallas is the only team in the league to not score a touchdown in week 1. Oof, tough. 28-10 Commanders. I like it. Turns out Dak is aggressively mediocre with a perfect supporting cast. Go figure. I think he's more than mediocre, but I think you're on to something. Ray Spencer said 27-20 Commander. Wow, Casimir. I seen this earlier in the chat. I didn't miss this, by the way. 41-6 Commanders. We going up. And I'm talking shit. The NFL Network in Las Vegas, we beat them 41-6. But I don't know if our defense built like that yet. They got to show me. Shout out to Derek Forrest, though. He had a hell of a game. I know you don't wish anyone getting hurt, but I did say Dak was going to get hurt first game. If you don't, you did say that shit. You did call it. I don't want to wish that on anybody, but you did say he was going to get hurt. Cole Turner is returning this week. Cam Curl, I believe, is returning this week, and I believe Jonathan Allen said he's fine. I think he's going to play, but don't believe players. Bad and Bully said 24-20 Lions. Okay. Our number 2 receiver better than your overrated CD. We're going to beat y'all with Cooper Rush. If y'all beat us with Cooper Rush, bruh, I might not stream for a week. There ain't no motherfucking way. If y'all beat us with Cooper Rush, I'll buy a Cooper Rush jersey. Lord, somebody's about to clip that, and I'm about to look real crazy, and they're going to hold me to that shit. Dotson's going to have his first 100-yard game. He would have had it this week if Carson didn't miss him on the wheel route. Carson didn't see him. He looked to the middle route instead. He had played to bring some burgundy energy in their atmosphere and let them know why we're going to beat them on Sunday. You know, that's how we do these game previews. We come and let the guests get their shit off, introduce their team to us, and then they leave and we cut up and act the whole fool for the rest of the stream. 203 in the chat right now. Yeah, y'all definitely about to get bust on Sunday, Lions fan. I'm sorry. Give me one game where our 3 receivers get 100 yards each. I'll call it right now. It'll be let me think about the schedule. I want to say Houston, but Derek Stingley, nice. Clothing line. The Heart of a Black Man Apparel on Instagram. The Heart of a Black Man Apparel on Instagram. They come in gold and they come with burgundy. My guys out of Woodbridge, Virginia, they do great work. Their stuff is great quality. Whenever you see me with something that says THBM or some hearts on it, it's my guys' clothing line, man. We all want sacks. We want all the sacks, my guy. The one came in the box. Oh no, that's the Letterman. That's my baby. I can't wait to pull that out of the stadium. Who should we get to help Payne and Allen on the interior D-line? Well, they signed this guy, Donovan Jeter, who I know absolutely nothing about. You know, we refuse to go sign established guys. Ron loves to mold, and he loves projects. I bet he loved science class as a kid, but I think we'll be all right on the depth because the front line is just so damn good. Yes, we do have a top 7 offense, and it's going to be ascending. Y'all look like a high. Our uniforms are better than yours. 301. Our uniforms are better than yours. Our uniforms, the only uniform you got that can compete with our new uniforms is the throwback with the white sleeves, because I can't even fake. That shit's fire. Your regular uniforms are stupid. The navy blue on your jerseys, on the dark ones, don't even match the blue on the fucking helmet, 301. I'm definitely going to try to do a Madden stream when I find the time. I'm going to start doing streams where I'm just playing video games, but we're talking about Commanders at the same time. But I got to find the time for that right now, because right now my schedule's all over the place because I got money to make, man. I had a tough year, and I finally got myself out of a hole. I'm trying to stay out of it. So, you know what I'm saying? I want one. What was the Instagram again? The Heart of a Black Man Apparel on Instagram. The Heart of a Black Man Apparel. Go ahead and cop y'all one, man, because I'm definitely going to be sporting them, man. Those are my guys. Nothing better. Dallas goes 0-6 in the division. I love it. I know you wouldn't give it away, but it was worth a try. Hey, I respect the hustle. I respect the hustle. You know what I'm saying? Is John Allen playing versus Detroit? We won't know till Friday, but my guess would be yes. I think John Allen's going to play. I think Cam Curl's going to play. And I think Cole Turner's going to play. Cowboys uniforms look like kids from the 60s playing astronaut. They look like some Stranger Things shit. But yeah, man. 203 in the chat. Smash the like. Smash the like. Dallas will start 0-6. They'll win a game somewhere in there. Norbert Joe said it's only the first game. Yep, I know. But we bring in the energy. And I'm confident enough to say that we're going to beat the Lions this week. Will I guarantee a victory versus the Eagles next week? No. Or it depends on how I'm feeling next week. Because next week we're bringing on Lord Brunson. And I know Lord Brunson going to come on here talking that shit. Are you doing any giveaways? Once I hit 5K, we'll be doing a giveaway on my 5K live stream. Hopefully we hit 5K before the end of the week. Maybe we'll hit it on Sunday on my 6-hour stream at Mark's house. But once we hit 5K, I'm going to be doing some type of giveaway. So definitely, Shauna, and thank you for pulling up as always. Berg in the chat that I let this man get me with the troll Paulie. Yes, sir. F you, hell to the W. Keep doing your shit over there, man. Oh, yeah, when we get 301 on the pod, I want everybody in there talking that shit because you know he's going to come bringing the heat. You already know. Hey, who's the only team that didn't score a touchdown week 1? Let's all say it at once, y'all. How about them Cowboys? The only team in the league that didn't score a touchdown in the first week of the season. You know who did score a touchdown? 4 of them things? The Commanders. That's how Doug Williams said. Hey, every time you say Commanders, say it in the Doug Williams voice, bro. Craig Melvin and Jason sitting with him at the name reveal. He said, come on, guys. He said, Doug, what is it? Doug said, we the Commanders. That's how we got to say Commanders going forward. Doug got that country sound that sound like he got a half a mouthful of mashed potatoes when he speaks. I love Doug Williams. Never changed, Doug. But that's all I got for tonight. I got some more. I got my weekly live stream tomorrow. I got Big Moves. Tim is coming on with me. We'll be live again at 7 o'clock tomorrow before the Chiefs game comes on. Shit, if I'm feeling up to it, I might stream all the way through the Chiefs game. So let's do it, man. Hey, ask 301 why he blocked me with his newborn booty. Why you block my guy John Sturgis, 301? We blocking people now? I don't like to give people the satisfaction of a block. Roger Smith. Hey, my guy Roger is being optimistic. That's how you know we got this shit in the bag. Roger be pessimistic as hell. 44-19. Sounds like Roger is finally on the Scott Turner train. I'm not going to go that far, but he definitely did it to him, man. Shout out to Roger, man. Luck got me, bruh. Good shit, Luck. You ain't going to get me again. I promise you that. Good luck with the Lions. Appreciate you, Nelbert. Bloodshot with the $4.99 super chat to close out the show. Talk to us nice. That's the motto of the season for the Carson Revenge Tour-led Washington Commanders. Until next time, hail to the Commanders. Deuces.